Hi everyone, it's MJ, and in today's video we are going to be looking at the VStar deck that I'm going to be playing in the upcoming videos, as well as a few in real life tournaments. Now, it is the Lugia deck, so Lugia is the star of the show with the Read of the Wind attack, allows us to discard a card from our hand. Now, the card that we want to be discarding is, of course, Archeops, because Archeops has this beautiful ability called Primal Turbo. Once during your turn, you may search your deck for up to 2 special energies, attach them to your Pokemon. Very, very powerful. But if we're discarding them, how are we getting them into play? And of course, Lugia's Summoning Star brings in 2 of those Archeops onto the bench, which allows us to power up our Pokemon. Lugia can also be quite a nice attacker with Tempest Dive. Discarding stadiums is great to just get Pokestops out of the way for Raging Bolt, as well as that new arena thing for the Terra Pokemon, which gives them a board space of 8. We can bring that out of the game with our Tempest Dive. 220 is also enough damage to take out your Teal Masks, your Fairs, your Rotums, your Luminions, and even Squawk as well. So a lot of 2-price support Pokemon can get taken out with Tempest Dive. So Lugia V-Star plays a very big role in the deck. Also coming in is Minccino, which this cute little Pokemon might not seem as much, but when he evolves into Cinccino, we've got Special Roll. This attack does 70 damage for each special energy card attached to this Pokemon. Now, Special Roll, along with your Primal Turbos, where you can attach 2 energies, and saying that you can attach 1 from hand, means you can in fact attach 5 energies to Cinccino. So Special Roll 5 times 70, that's 350 damage, which is enough to take out a Charizard EX in 1 hit. And of course, that is the big hit, the big punch from this deck. Now, what we're doing, we're only playing a 1-of-1 copy. A lot of other Lugia decks play 2 of 2, but I decided to kind of go in with what the fashion is, what the decks are playing in on Limitless, and having more of an array of Pokemon. So let's first look at the 4 big supporters. We've got Iron Bundle with Hyper Blower, allows us to gust out our opponent's active Pokemon in case there's one that we don't want to deal with. We've also got Fez with the Flip the Script, allows us to draw 3 more Pokemon, 3 more cards, which is great because our deck is a little bit vulnerable to Iona, especially in the late game. Opposite from the late game, the beginning game, we've got Squawk ability, Squawk and Seize, where we can discard our hand and draw 6, but we can only use this on our first turn, and we can only play 1 of them. So we only have 1. I haven't had a situation when I've needed in the speed and the prizes, so hopefully that doesn't happen in a major tournament. And of course, if we've got 2 Chops in hands, the Squawk and Seize can be very powerful. It does leave Squawk on the bench, which makes him vulnerable. Some people will play Thornton as a way to get rid of that. You're going to see when we go to the trainers, we're not doing that. We're getting very, very simple with our trainer lineup. But before we get into that, talking about trainers, Luminion Sign is the great card to play to search for a supporter. Aqua Return is also going to be possible because we are playing that Legacy Energy, which can count as a water energy and can get Luminion back into the deck. Where we want Luminion in the deck. We want Luminion in the deck and we want it on the hand. We do not want it on the bench because very, very vulnerable. Then some alternative attackers. Iron Hands becoming very popular in this deck. Amp you very much, 120 damage, but you do take double prizes, which makes it very, very cool to change the prize balance. Also, attaching that Legacy Energy as the electric energy means Iron Hands is coming in for us as just a 1-price Pokemon. Like I say, this can be a big game changer. We have Wellspring Mask. That Torrential Pump catches a lot of opponents off guard. You can take out 2 very early Pokemon. I mean, I actually won a game in a big tournament. They only had 2 Pokemon in play, and Torrential Pump, I was going second. Oh, when was it? No, I went first, but on my second turn, I was able to come and play Torrential Pump and win the game because they then had no more bench Pokemon. So very, very powerful card to have. Not seen in many of the Lugia decks is the Raikou. I like it because of the fact that we've changed the format with Stellar Crown, having that stadium that is widening the field. Raikou can come in and start doing some big damage. Fleetfoot's also a great way to just draw in another card, and at only 2 energy costs, it's quite cheap to play. We also have the big Blood Moon Ursaluna that comes in, hits for 240 damage. Now, this costs 1 less for each prize that our opponent has taken, which is great for the end game, especially you play this down with the Jet Energy. But with Primal Turbos, it can also come in and hit quite early on. And at 240, it's coming in at quite a nice damage amount. And that essentially are our Pokemon that we're playing. Energy, very straightforward. I mean, we've got Legacy Energy as our ace spec that we're playing in this deck. And I mean, yeah, that's also a little bit different, is playing the Electric Energy. Why? Because we got a Raikou and we've got the Iron Hands. 1 Mist Energy, some of the decks do play a few more. This is to prevent, of course, from the Dragapult attacks. And just 1 V-Guard Energy, this is to protect from another Lugia game or from Regidrago. Especially when they come in with that Giratina attack that does 280, having the V-Guard on your Lugia, which has 280 HP, this can catch people off guard. So it's always worth having that in. Gift Energy is great for, because like I say, our deck is very much susceptible to being Iona'd in the late game. So having that Gift Energy, which allows us to draw 7 cards, is brilliant. It really is a gift that keeps on giving. Double Turbo Energy, just, you know, when you're down on energy, comes with that penalty of taking down 20 on your attack. So you don't want to apply too much, but it's also a nice way to just retreat the Lugia out of the position, pivot away, or of course using your Jet Energies, which are great for those surprise attacks. Coming into our trainers, of course, 4 Ultra Balls. Ultra Balls are great. They allowed us to discard the Archeops and find what we need. Capturing Aroma, it's guaranteeing a Pokemon. It's a bit of a flip of a coin. Are we going to get a evolution or a basic? But always giving us a Pokemon, so that's a great one to have. Nest Ball's giving us a basic. Of course, you have to put it straight on the bench, so not great to get the Luminion, but to get Lugia and Mincino and Iron Hands and the rest of them, great card to kind of have. We've got Earthen Vessel, just another way to discard an Archeops and find that electric energy for the Raikou or the Iron Hands. And then basically, yeah, Stadium. We've got 2 of them in play. It's a nice way just to kick off a Stadium that we don't want. Also gives us another 50% chance of finding the Pokemon that we need. You do give that ability to your opponent as well, unless if you do Tempest Dive and you knock the Stadium out. And then we're just playing 4 trainers. We're keeping it very simple in this build. We got Jacques to find 2 evolution Pokemon. So Jacques along with an Ultra Ball is great because you find the 2 chops and then you Ultra Ball for the Lugia or whatever you need. We got 2 Ionas just to kind of freshen things up, and also to, you know, in case we're playing against another Lugia or another deck that we can disrupt with it. But 3 Professor Researchers, because sometimes we need to just refresh the hand and get those chops into the discard pile. And then the big supporter in this deck is Boss, because when we're playing Lugia, we're not hitting massive amounts of damage. So if we can boss in some of those weak supporter Pokemon that Lugia can take off, or boss in and then Iron Hands can take on all the Wellspring Moss. So Boss plays a very big role. Of course, having 4 of them and starting the hand, yeah, you're starting hand with 4 bosses in hand and then 2 energy and a Luminion. It's not great. You know, that's definitely going to be a bricked situation. But having access to Boss is a great way to just take out those supporter Pokemon. And sometimes you don't have to even deal with some of the big HP Pokemon like a Charizard. Especially if you've taken out one of the Charizards with your Cincino, and then the next few turns you can, you know, target the Rotom, maybe even target something else that they put down into play. Or if it's Charizard and they've used up one of their Dunskulls, you can then target any other supporter for that final prize. And yeah, all in all, that makes the 60 that we have for our Lugia. A lot of Pokemon kind of coming in. Iron bundles, I mean, I have kind of thought of bringing in maybe some other Pokemon instead of the iron bundles, but for as the time goes, that's what we're playing. I have even seen some people play Irida, or Irida, I don't know how you guys pronounce it, because we have 3 water Pokemon coming into play. But that's the build we have. So I hope you guys enjoy the videos that we have with it. I'm going to be playing in a tournament tomorrow with this, hoping to win that tournament. So yeah, wish me the best of luck. And as always, thanks so much for watching. Cheers, everyone.